Some of the most common gifts we send in care packages when our students are having a hard time in college are the very ones that add extra stress. So before you send that next care package, let me tell you what I mean so you don't accidentally make a hard semester even harder. I'm going to start with a really common scenario. Your student complains, oh, my room is so blah, it's so depressing. And as a parent, you're thinking, all right, I've got this. I'm going to Costco, grabbing that huge squishmallow that they liked, maybe grabbing some school-colored throw pillars to make their futon all cozy. Those things will totally help their room not feel so much like a prison cell. The problem isn't your intention. The problem is space. Most students are living in small living quarters with very limited storage. So when you send big, bulky, decorative items, even if they're super cute, it can become like one more thing to manage, which can cause extra stress. So now instead of feeling comforted, your student is thinking, well, where does this go? Where should I put it? I don't want to get rid of it because my mom gave it to me. That extra mental load matters. Clutter, visual disorganization makes it harder to relax, harder to focus, harder to recover from the stress that they're already feeling. So even though the gifts were meant to help, it can make an already stressful living environment more stressful. And that's obviously the opposite of what you were trying to achieve. Now, the second scenario sounds different at first, but the stress is the same. And it usually starts something like, oh, my homework, I have so much to do. I can't get organized. I'm never going to get all this work done. And as a parent, you're thinking, oh, they need structure. They need a planner. They need something that's going to get them through these hard finals or these midterms. So maybe you go buy a planner or a desk organizer or a cute productivity workbook with lots of stickers. And again, your intention makes perfect sense, but here's where it can backfire. For students who are already feeling behind, this can feel less like support and more like a vote of no confidence. And the gift isn't just sitting on the desk, if they even got it out of the box. It's quietly shouting, you're not enough, you're not doing enough, you're not organized, you're not smart enough to be a college student. Instead of lowering stress, these gifts can be one more reminder of things that feel like they're not doing well. So stress can be increased by increased clutter, gifts that put on pressure. Let's talk about the third scenario. This one usually starts with something more emotional. Your student says something like, oh, I just really miss home. Of course, as a good parent, you want them to feel connected. You want them to feel loved. You want them to know people are waiting for you and missing you at home. So you send gifts like framed family photos or call your mom pillow. Maybe that hedgehog vase that their grandma got them that's been collecting dust in their bedroom since this summer. Because you want to send things that make them feel loved. But at this age, college students are balancing that feeling of connection with wanting to be independent. And if there's anything in their room that gives off a socially weird vibe, or they're not quite sure how their friends or their roommates are going to take it, it's going to create some social friction and it's going to increase stress. And peer connection is one of the biggest things that can buffer stress. So anything that creates that social weirdness, even unintentionally, can backfire and increase their stress. If you zoom out, all of these situations follow the same pattern. It's not that your intention was wrong, it's just the timing and the impact wasn't there like you wanted it to be. And the stress showed up because of clutter, pressure, or social friction. So before you send anything, it helps to pause and ask yourself this question. Will this help my student manage their stress or just give them one more thing to manage? Here's an obvious tip that wasn't so obvious to me as a parent of a college freshman. I wanted to send my daughter one of those pillows of our cat Bernie's likeness. And when I told her about it, she was like, oh my God, please don't send that. It would make me too sad. I really had no idea that it would do that. And as a freshman, she actually didn't know if those pillows were a thing or just something most moms saw on Instagram. And so she felt a little weird about, are other people going to have cat pillows? Maybe your kid wouldn't worry about that. But I'm glad I asked instead of spending the $60 on a cat likeness pillow that she never would have put out in her dorm room. When you can check off concerns about adding stress, then it's the fun part. Buying things and sending them things that will actually help. I have a playlist, what to send when college is hard, and it tackles specific situations, academic burnout, homesickness, final stress. So check it out depending on what season of stress your college student is in right now, and I'll see you over there.